So, the internet told me this movie was coming out May 19th. Great, that's the day I was getting back from work. I could have caught it and got this video out right on time. The internet lied to me. So I'm going to try and keep this a little shorter than usual because yes, I know I can tend to ramble on quite a bit, but it's a lot of editing work and I actually have another project in the works. Another Aliens project to tie in with this movie, which you'll see in the next couple days' time, so look out for that. Alien Covenant is Ridley Scott's latest foray into the universe that he created back in 1979 and is a movie I have been pretty anxiously looking forward to pretty much since it was announced. Or since a new Alien movie was announced, but then that one got canned in favour of Ridley Scott going, no, I want to do Prometheus 2. Which is essentially what this is. This movie is once again, like Prometheus, a prequel to the 1979 film Alien, which by the way, is one of my favourite movies of all time. Really love the Alien franchise, another reason why I was so looking forward to this film. But it's bridging between that and Prometheus, a movie which I quite enjoyed. I thought it was okay, had a lot of problems. So with that in mind, I was kind of looking forward to see where this movie was going to go. So in short, this film is about the crew of the colony ship Covenant, which is en route to a new planet when it encounters some problems, and in doing so, picks up on a signal from another nearby world, apparently also a perfectly habitable one, which they for some reason missed. And of course, go to investigate, and we can all guess where it goes on from there. Screaming in death.
I need you back here right now. I need you.
Okay, baby, just calm down, sweetheart, calm down.
Tell me to calm down.
You're breaking up.
Xenomorphs and blah 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 blah, it's an alien movie. I mean, I'm acting like that should be obvious, but then again in Prometheus there was really a distinct lack of any kind of xenomorphs, so I don't know, maybe it was good just pointing that out. Unfortunately, I gotta say this movie kinda disappointed me, and it's hard to really pinpoint exactly why, but I got a few ideas. Firstly, the aliens themselves. There are two different types in this movie. There's the classic xenomorph, which eventually does show up, as well as these, admittedly, really creepy as fuck Neomorphs is what they're called in the credits. These pale white ones, which are kind of more like the Deacon or whatever it's called from the very end of Prometheus. But even so, for me, there was something about even the classic xenomorph which just didn't sit right with me. It looked wrong to me, like I watched Alien 1, Aliens, Alien 3, even Alien Resurrection, hell, even Alien vs Predator, and the look of the xenomorph, it looks consistent. It always looks like it's from the same universe. But this one, I don't know why. There's something about it. But it could well have just been the fact that it was entirely CG. And I don't know. I said this in the car on the way back from the guys I watched it with. I was a bit disappointed there wasn't a suit. When this movie first got announced, that was one of the first things I was most looking forward to, was how are they going to do the suit? I was interested to see how they would do it, and the fact that this movie delivered with entirely CGI creatures? I mean, I don't think I'm asking too much for a suit. They did it in 1979 and they did it well. I figured this many years later they could have done it extraordinarily, but instead it was entirely CG, and I just think the movie suffered for it. But you know what, maybe CG wouldn't have been a problem if they just didn't show so damn much of it. Like, a big part of what made Alien creepy was how little they showed of it. For a start, the xenomorph didn't show up until 1 hour and 4 minutes into the movie, full grown, of a 1 hour 54 minute film. So, but even disregarding that, once it came into the movie, it only had 4 or 5 real moments. The rest of the time it was, where is it on the ship? Just a bleep on a radar, trying to find it. In this, they have this really highlights it. They have a similar scene in this movie where they're chasing the xenomorph down hallways. But whereas in the first movie, it was all this beep on a tracker, in this, it's security cam footage. And someone's like, hey, there it is, I can see it, right there, climbing down that ladder in full view. 1, that's nowhere near as scary. 2, the CGI didn't look up to scratch. And 3, there's the real technological inconsistency in this universe I'm noticing. Like, yeah, the very 70s, 80s tech of Alien versus the, standard sci-fi futuristic stuff of Prometheus and this film now. Doesn't really make sense. Why couldn't they... I never understood why they couldn't try and sort of more emulate the old school style stuff, like how Alien Isolation did it. It's a modern game, but all the tech in that is so 70s, and it looks great. But it's this thing of always being far too aware of where the creature is in regards to our heroes, I was going to call them, then I kind of stumbled there because this movie doesn't really have heroes, I'd say, has people in it. People in it and Michael Fassbender. There's no Ripley in this movie, which is another issue I have, is there's no real, that sort of character type. I just didn't really connect with many of the characters whatsoever. There's one human character I quite liked, that's Tennessee, this cowboy-like pilot of the ship. I quite liked him. But our main lead, character whose name I can't remember, didn't do much for me. The captain was annoying as fuck, and I'm kind of glad when he died. Is that a spoiler? I don't know, it's an Alien movie, everyone fucking dies. But Covenant even goes as far as showing things from the point of view of the aliens at times. Both literally first-person shots of the alien, which they haven't done since Alien 3, and just cutting away from where our humans are to say, hey look, here's an alien hanging about outside, climbing the wall to come get them. Okay, bye tension, see you later. When at the end of Alien, Parker, Lambert and Ripley were the only survivors and they were trying to scuttle the ship and get all their shit together and you didn't know where the alien was or who he was going to go after as these guys were all spread around, that was fucking tense. In this, it's like, hey, there's the alien and he's going to go over there and over there is this character and then... But you know what, maybe this whole thing could be just underscored by the fact that the Xenomorph, you know, the star of the Alien series, aside from Sigourney Weaver, is kind of overshadowed by, again, Michael Fassbender. David is the better villain in this movie than the alien. Is that a good thing? I don't know, maybe? Not? So I suppose to give this movie some credit, the character of David, rather than as a negative, he is a good thing in this movie. Again, best character in both Prometheus and this. It's a bad thing in the sense that he almost overshadows what the movie's supposed to be about, Xenomorphs, but he's still a good character. Except for that one really cheesy Obi-Wan Kenobi entrance. Like, I was on the way back from the cinema and I was really struggling to think, like, what movie cliche is that from? The people surrounded by monsters and then one guy shows up all hooded and cloaked to scare them away like some magical, mystical madman. Yeah, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. And also, how the fuck does an android grow hair? I wouldn't have thought that was possible. I mean, okay, I don't know how androids work in this universe, but that was dumb to me. I suppose another pro of this movie is that the Neomorphs, as they're called in the credits, these not quite xenomorph creations from the same virus bioweapon type thing, these are creepy as fuck. I gotta admit, they're not as skeletal as the xenomorph. They kind of got skin on them, and I don't know, they were pretty unsettling, and I gotta give the movie that at least. That and probably my favourite scene in the movie, which is the Neomorph's first entrance. He breaks out of this guy's back, essentially. Just, as awful as that is anyway, it's kind of a play on the chest burster coming out the front, like the traditional Xenomorph. And, not nice. As a matter of fact, this movie was surprisingly violent for 15. I didn't realise this movie wasn't an 18 until I was buying tickets for it. And yeah, but no, there was a surprising amount of blood. Actually, possibly more than the original Alien movie, which is an 18. So, I don't know, just different times, I guess, whatever. Now, another pro that I did pick up on was the score, because I love movie soundtracks. They're probably my main source of music entertainment. And the score in this movie, it's pretty good. It has some of the reused tracks. It's got the Elizabeth Shaw theme from Prometheus. It's got the Alien theme from Alien. They're both kind of used in here, and it really helps bridge that gap as the movie tying in Prometheus to Alien. So yeah, while I enjoyed watching this movie, it just didn't quite hit the notes that I was hoping it would, or that I essentially thought it should. And especially since this is back in the hands of Ridley Scott, the series' original creator, I'm just a little bit disappointed how it turned out. Like, if you're a fan of Prometheus, anyway, 20 minutes later of me trying to fix this fucking camera and I've forgotten where the fuck I was talking about. I don't know. It keeps telling me that it's full of memory, and yet it's 3 times while recording this one video that I've had to go and delete shit off it. Shit that I've deleted before and hasn't fucking gone yet. Fuck! So anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Yeah, this movie. If you're a fan of Prometheus, I think you're going to like it a lot. If you're a fan particularly of the original Alien movie though, like myself, I mean, I'm a fan of the whole series. So, you know, I like Prometheus fine as well, but I think especially Alien 1 and Aliens, you know, I can never tell you which one was my favourite because it changes depending what I'm in the mood for, but they're my favourite anyway. It's because, like I said, this is very much Prometheus Part 2. It's such a follow-on, such a direct follow-on from Prometheus, whereas it still hasn't really answered, like, how we got to Alien. It's almost brought up more questions than it has answered. Like, with Prometheus, I was willing to accept, alright, so the xenomorph eggs, the facehugger eggs, they're one of many of these engineer-created biological weapons, and it just so happens that there is another ship like the one in Prometheus, but this one's carrying facehugger eggs. Alright, cool. This movie's changed that now, and so now there has to be an answer for how that one particular ship in Alien 1979 was full of these facehugger eggs, and that ship was piloted by an engineer. That's a massive question now. If you've seen this movie, that's a question that must be answered for this series to make sense. Whereas at the end of Prometheus, you didn't have to answer this question. This has made this new question up, which is even more difficult to answer. I don't know. I think at the very root of this movie, and Prometheus to a lesser degree as well, the problem with it is that you're trying to shed light on something that is so popular and that is so scary as it is, because it's left in the dark. Not knowing what the alien creature is, where it came from, its history, just exactly the intricacies of this so alien, that's what made it good. And this movie is almost demystifying it, while at the same time making it more complicated. It's a strange double fuck up. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know, I'm just going to leave it at that, because I go any further on, I am going to start rambling and then going more into spoiler territory. It didn't do that much for me. I'm a little disappointed. I mean, it was alright. I'll watch it again. I'll add it to my collection when it eventually comes out in Blu-ray, but didn't quite live up to what I hoped. So that's enough for me. Thank you very much for watching, and like I said, stay tuned for this upcoming Alien project.